Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. I thought it would be fun to maybe do trivia nights. I don't know if this will become a thing on the channel, but I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna try it out right now and see how it goes. I try to compile, some questions, and I don't know how hard or how easy they're gonna be. I don't know, but I hope it'll be fun. I'm going to wait a little bit for people to join so we get a good group of people before we get started. We already have a couple people here. We have Angela McKee. She says, anyway, Elder Bednar mentioned, was there a conversation going on before the chat? Anyway, Elder Bednar mentioned we were lucky to have an apostle there live with us. And he said in the future, we'll see, or Area 70s mostly. Uh, well, I suppose that's true because, like, as the church gets bigger and bigger, there's only 12 of them, and then three from the first presidency. So, yeah. And then she continues. He said there will be so many areas of members, the church will have 70 70s, just to be able to get to everyone. Thought that was cool. Yeah. You see, we've been talking about recently how it seems like the church is concerned about a big influx of people, especially when the millennium starts. According to Brad Wilcox, he said that the Savior is going to identify himself with our church, and at that point, all good people, all good, at least Christians, they're probably going to want to join the church. And are we going to have enough missionaries and enough buildings and so forth to be able to accommodate that? Well, whenever that does happen, um, yeah, there's going to have to be probably more general authorities. I mean, we don't know how things are exactly going to be organized at this point because we know Christ will be here, he'll be king. But as far as like what the government of the church looks like and stuff like that, um, we'll just have to see. It's going to be interesting. Sherry Johnson from McKinney, Texas, with Dallas Temple an hour away. And then she says, raised in Las Vegas and raised children in Albuquerque, New Mexico area with a couple other moves. Okay. So as we're waiting for people to come in, put in the chat this time, which is your favorite temple? And you can put why too. But what is your favorite temple? We got 14 people right now. So we'll just wait a little bit. I'm doing this in the evening. I figure that more people will be available to participate in this live stream because it's later in the day. It's 7:34 here Central Time. So Utah Mountain Time, it's 6:34 Pacific, 5:34. So I think we're pretty safe that most people are probably off of work if you have a regular, 9 to 5 schedule. Anyway, put in the chat, if you don't mind, what is your favorite temple and why? All right, now we have 17 people in the chat. Of course there is. Well, I can tell you right now, even though it's not constructed, my favorite temple will be the Wichita, Kansas temple. But up until this point, it's kind of hard to say. I almost want to say the Las Vegas temple because I just had a really good experience there. I went once, and it ended up being so much prettier than what I thought. The Las Vegas temple is kind of like those other ones, like the one in Dallas, where it's like the roof like goes almost all the way to the ground. And at first I wasn't like a big fan of those type of temples, but when I went to the Las Vegas temple, it is just gorgeous, both inside and out. Okay, we got Angela McKee, the Washington, D.C., 15 minutes away, and where I was endowed. Really cool. You must be really excited that now it's been renovated, and I didn't catch the dates when it's going to be back in operation, but you must be excited about that. Karate videos and more, the San Diego Temple. Of course, everyone loves the San Diego temple. It's a beautiful temple. KS Alto, or sorry, KSA Alto says DC or San Diego. Love both celestial rooms. I know I've seen the celestial room of the San Diego temple, and from what I remember from the pictures, it has like stairs in there. So does it have like two levels? Because that's unusual for a celestial room. But if I remember right, it's like there's two levels or something. Sherry Johnson, I remember my mother telling me about sitting in a cafe looking out the window at the snow falling down in front of the Manti Temple. That's a nice memory. Corey Cletus says Salt Lake Temple. We were married there. Also, Lubumbashi in DRC, which is Congo, because me and my wife are going to help build it. Yes, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited for you. Africa is doing pretty good with the temples. The last time I checked, now this was before the most recent temples were announced, between all temples, no matter what phase they're in, whether they're only announced or in construction or they're already constructed, the last time I checked, Europe and Africa have the same amount, which is stunning because when I went on my mission in 2004, Africa at that point only had 3 temples, and 2 of them were brand new. The one in Accra, Ghana, and then the Aba, Nigeria temples were relatively new at that point. Oh gosh, my eye. We've had the Johannesburg temple for a while. I don't know exactly when, but like now looking at today, 2022, all these years later, and now they have so many temples that are either currently constructed or announced or whatever. It's mind blowing. And Nigeria is becoming a powerhouse in the church. It has the most members. I can't remember how many they have, but it's like they're one of the countries that are up there with like the Philippines, Mexico, Brazil. Not quite, where Mexico and Brazil are. They both have over 1 million members each. But anyway, KSA Alto says, yes, the social room in San Diego has 2 levels. Walk up the stairs and exit, and a beautiful window area where you can look up and see the Angel Moroni on top. Really cool. Hope that I get to go there someday. I really do. I've never been to San Diego. Looks like we still have 17 people. So I'm going to wait for just a little bit longer. Sorry, got kids in the room. Jeez. While we're waiting, let's maybe look at the news and see if there's anything new going on. Because before I put this trivia game together, which we'll play in just a little bit, me and my wife went on a drive and I was doing some other things. So I have no idea what's happened since last time I checked, which was earlier today. We have karate videos and more saying the main symbol of the San Diego temple is the symbol of Melchizedek, which was not known at the time when they designed the temple. That comes from Hugh Nibley. Really? I don't even know what that is. I'm going to look that up in just a second here. Annie Kent Gibson Payson. My grandpa farmed the land it sits on, and my husband worked on the landscape. That's really cool. I had a great aunt that lived in Payson, so I had been down there a few times. And I remember when they announced that temple, I was like, what? There's going to be a Payson temple? We're talking about Payson, Utah, not Payson, Arizona, by the way. Okay, let's take a look at this symbol of Melchizedek. First let me make sure. Okay, I don't want to give the answers to the trivia, so I had to make sure first. Let's go here. Let's do LDS symbol of Melchizedek. Okay, this is from BYU. I want to say that I've heard that before. Oh, it's this right here. Yeah, I saw something about this. I saw something about this. So basically, it's an 8-pointed star. It looks like, and here's some kind of drawing type thing. Figure 25. Another Ravenna mosaic, 520 AD, shows the priest king Melchizedek in a purple cloak, offering bread and wine at the altar. Uh, the white altar, uh, the white altar cloth is decorated with 2 sets of gamadia, also as well as the so-called seal of Melchizedek, 2 interlocking squares in gold. And we know that circles, squares, there's symbolism behind these shapes and these geometries, right? We've talked about that on the channel a little bit. Abel offers his lamb as Abraham gently pushes Isaac forward. The hand of God reaches down to the sacred meeting through the red veils adorned with golden gamadia on either side. Okay, that is really something else. I might have to do a video on this alone, because like I said, this does actually ring a bell. So we're saying that it's interesting that the San Diego temple has this symbol, which is according to scholarship, the symbol of Melchizedek. So we'll have to look into that further. Let me look at the chat again. Karate videos and more, 8-pointed star. Sherry Johnson, St. George Temple was first I went to as a youth. And karate videos and more, trippy, huh? Yeah, it is. That's really neat. I'd like to know if there's any other temples that have that symbol, but that is very cool. Okay, how many people do we have right now? Oh, it's at 19, so we'll wait a little bit more. For anyone that wants to look into it now, I will put the link for this. I'll put it in the chat in case you want to go check that out. Okay, let's do a search. Let's see what's going on in Israel right now. Israel, let's just do that. 4 hours ago, barrage of rockets fired at southern Israel following airstrikes in Gaza. Okay, all right, so there it is. There it is. More rockets. Okay, so we did a video where we talked about, I think it was a live stream actually, we were talking about one rocket that was fired from Gaza, and later Hamas said, hey, other groups don't act independently, basically saying that we need to be coordinated. So don't just fire off rockets, we need to coordinate this. So let's see what we can find out here really quick. I don't have a subscription, but I'll just read this first part. Gaza City. Israel carried out a wave of airstrikes in Gaza, and militants fired a volley of rockets from the Palestinian territory, the second exchange of fire this week, raising fears of a widening conflict amid heightened tensions over access to holy sites in the contested city of Jerusalem. If you have the Wall Street Journal, or if you want to check this out or whatever, here's the link. I'm putting it in the chat. Could I get everybody's assessment of what do you think is going to happen? I, as far with Israel, do you think that, like I've said before, this is just kind of a slow burn, and then after the burn, do you think it's going to escalate, or do you think it's going to die out? Every day that goes by, I'm kind of getting a little bit more the feeling that it's going to just die out. I feel like it really wants to pick up, and people really want this to happen, but it feels like it's not. That's what I feel like. Let's look up Jerusalem top stories. Okay, CNN. Let's see what this says. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett says security decisions taken in Jerusalem and Gaza are not political. Okay, I don't care about that. Let's go to news. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like that's probably just the most recent thing. Let's go to tools. Let's go to stories within the last hour. Gaza militants trade fire. Israeli police stop Jewish nationalist march in Jerusalem. We kind of already covered that. Okay, I'm not seeing anything too big other than that, but that is another, it is another escalation, the fact that more rockets are coming out of Gaza. So, but like I said, things are not escalating very fast. They kind of are. They are escalating, but just not very fast. What does everybody think? Karate videos. Sorry, let me go to a different screen. Let's just go back here. Karate videos and more says, I talked to the main architect for that temple, Elder Wilcox, Design Homes, and he said that his assistant architect on the project, a Catholic, was the one to introduce a non-religious symbol. That's interesting because, that's actually happened before. Not with like a symbol per se, but in the Salt Lake Temple, if any of you recall, in the celestial room, there was like this figure of a woman kind of above the veil area, like where you come out through there. And I think the story behind that is that it was a gift given to the church. Because I remember when I went through there, I saw that. I was like, what is that? In fact, let me see if I can see that really quick. Salt Lake Temple woman figure gift celestial room. The woman at the veil. Here's a BYU article about it. Yeah, here it is right here. This right here. This right here. Let me do a word search. Catholic. Supposedly given as a gift to the Latter-day Saints by the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman goddess Venus, or Greek goddess Aphrodite, Heavenly Mother, and even in effeminate Jesus. There is no end to the conjecture. Okay, so anyway, this was there, but last I checked, it's actually not in the new renderings of the Salt Lake Temple renovation celestial room rendering. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. So, you know what? I'm not going to look for that now. That might be a little bit too hard, but I swear that it wasn't in the new renderings. I don't know if this is it here. I don't know. Anyway, kind of interesting, huh? That we had this here. Okay. Who do we have here? We got 24 people. I'll give it just a little bit longer. Karate Videos and More says, into the project, little did they know, and the first presidency approved it. Well, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I want to dig into this more. Oh yeah, for anyone that wants to look at this article, The Woman at the Veil, the history and symbolic merit of one of the Salt Lake Temple's most unique symbols, I will put that in the chat. Okay? So you can go check that out. Okay. Got 25 people. Sorry, I want to wait just a little bit longer. Maybe I will try and find that picture. Let's see. Salt Lake Temple renovation. I'll just do that. Actually, I'll do pictures. Pictures. Let's look at this one. Deseret News. I should do renderings. Renovation renderings. Take a look at the project renderings. That's from 2019. Well, let's just look at that. Okay, there's got to be one of the celestial room in here. Nope. Whatever. That's a little frustrating. Okay, we got 27. Janet Carlson, love the smallness of Draper, but love Payson and Provo City Center. Let me go over here. So I've never been through the Draper Temple. I was living in Salt Lake when it was constructed, but I didn't know that it was small. It looks like a regular sized temple from the outside, but karate videos and more. The oldest symbol of the most futuristic looking temple. While they were building it, the locals called it the Rocks to God. Really? Cool. I've seen a lot of people. I saw one time on Facebook, there was somebody that was advertising this T-shirt, and the T-shirt had kind of like it had like old English, and it had kind of like stylized like angel, like kind of like a rock star looking type angel type design to it, and in the background they had the San Diego Temple, and I don't think that person realized what it was. Karate videos and more. Rockets. Yep, we just read about that. Unless you're talking about even more rockets, but I don't know when those ones took place. Oh, called it Rockets to God. Okay, you're correcting that. While they were building it, the locals called it Rockets to God. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. All right, well, I'm not sure how many more we're going to get in here, so let's just get into the trivia. So I think what I'll do... Okay. Slideshow. Actually, wait, let me exit. Make sure that's the first one. Yep. Okay, don't look at the answers. Okay. So I think what I want to do here, I'll put up the question, give you something like 15 to 20 seconds. Everyone put their guess. No looking it up. No looking it up on the internet. Put your guess, what you think the answer is. The first question is, what was the first temple constructed outside of Utah? Outside of Utah, after the pioneers got to Utah and they made the Salt Lake Temple, St. George, etc., what is the first temple built outside of Utah? Zachary Pinniger says, I just brought home 2 cut Duroc piglets to raise in my backyard, Korean natural farming styles. That's cool. We've debated whether we're going to do pigs or not. Probably not until we get like a new, if we move and we have a larger property, we might do that, but that's really cool. Sherry Johnson says Mesa. Sherry Ware in Canada. Angela McKee, Hawaii. KSA Alto, Mesa. Okay, any other guesses? So we got 2 Mesas, 1 Canada, 1 Hawaii. Any other guesses from anybody? I'll give it a little bit more time. Karate videos and more. Hamilton, New Zealand. Again, if you're joining us, do not look this up. Okay, the honor system. Zachary Pinniger says, yeah, Mesa. So we have 3 Mesas, 1 Canada, 1 Hawaii, 1 New Zealand. And then keep score. I can't remember how many questions I came up with because I kind of did it in a hurry. But keep score. Okay? I want to know how many you get right. Okay, I'll give it just 5 more seconds if there are any more guesses. Put it down now. What was the first temple constructed outside of Utah? I wasn't too surprised, but I kind of was a little bit when I looked it up. Okay, I think we have all of our guesses. So let's go ahead. Let's see what the answer is. It was the Lei Hawaii Temple. Lei Hawaii. And okay, don't look at. Okay. Well, no, I'll give the. I have for all these questions. I have like a website pulled up with the answer. I'll put all those in the description if you want to do further research. So it looks like who guessed that? It was Angela McKee. I'll give you a point for that because I've never really remembered the name of this temple. But I always just think of this as the Hawaii Temple, even though there's more. But okay, so it was the Lei Hawaii Temple. Janet Carlson says Draper has only 2 endowment rooms with 48 seats. That's surprising. That's surprising. Karate videos and more. Cool. Janet Carlson, Hawaii. Okay. I don't know how much of a lag there is. Maybe the next time the next time that I do a question, I'm going to I'll do in the chat, I'll do a line of sunflowers. That'll be like the start and the stop. Okay. So let me exit out of this really quick. Go over here. Sunflower emoji. Go like that. And then in the live stream, I'll do it a million times. Copy it. Okay. Zachary Pinniger, Far West. Esther Nielsen Barker, Cardston, Canada. Okay. So the first one outside of Utah was the Lei Hawaii Temple. I guess while I'm here, I will put... No, I won't. I'll just do that later. Okay. Here is the next question. Here's the next question. Slideshow. Okay, what was the first temple constructed outside the United States? Outside the United States. So the first one outside of Utah was Hawaii. Now, which was the first temple constructed outside the United States? Give you a few minutes. Let's wait for some of the answers to come through. Sherry Ware says Canada. Catherine Bingham, Bern, Switzerland. Sherry Johnson, Canada. Now, if you know where, do you have any better guesses other than just Canada? Like, do you have like if you know the country or you think you know the country, try and do the city or the territory too. Karate's videos and more. Hamilton, New Zealand temple. All right. Do we have any more? Any other guesses? First temple outside the United States. So far we have Canada, Bern, Switzerland, New Zealand. We got another New Zealand from KSA Alto. David Atchison, Hawaii was not part of the U.S. at the time. Well, it's not Hawaii, so it is another country. It is another country. So Sherry Ware says Cardston, so she guessed Canada, and then to specify, she's saying Cardston. Okay. Do we got any more guesses? Any more guesses? I'll give it 5 more seconds. David Atchison says Hawaii again. Okay. That's fine. A few more seconds, and then I'm going to throw the sunflowers down, and then no more guesses after that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sunflowers. Slideshow. It was the Cardston, Alberta temple. And here it is right here. Very unique temple. We had a few more guesses come in. We got Tyler with Switzerland, and then Esther Nielsen Barker, Carson, Alberta, Canada. Okay, good. And then Janet, sorry Janet, it's after the sunflowers. It's after the sunflowers. That's okay. You can take a point for that. Okay. Got a thumbs up from Karate Videos and More. Put your score so far. I want to see everybody's score. I'm not keeping track. That'd be too hard. But how many do you have right so far? Put that number in the chat. Let's see how everyone's doing. Because with that first question, I think only one person got it right? Okay. Sherry Ware has 1 point. Anyone else? Sherry Johnson, 1. Sorry if there's a delay. I had 3 options, but I picked the middle option because for as far as like it's called latency, how long it takes for it's like the delay between the recording and when you see it. Angela McKee, 1. David Atchison. It's similar to Mesa Temple design and the other box temples. Yeah, and there are some recent box temples. Like there's I was just talking to Bob D about it. The Meridian, Idaho temple. So they still make box temples. David Atchison has 2. Are you giving yourself a point because of the Hawaii thing? Did you guess right? Whatever. I'll just trust you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what was the first temple constructed outside of North America? Now, when I say North America, I'm including Alaska and Hawaii. So outside of, Central America, United States, Canada, where was the first temple constructed outside of that area? Let's see who gets this one. First temple outside of North America, including Hawaii and Alaska and Central America, just so that we're clear. Sherry Ware says Switzerland. Sherry Johnson says England. Catherine Bingham says BER. What's BER? Is that Bern? Like Bern, Switzerland? Alessandra says Brazil. Bob D. Oh, Bob D's here. He says Swiss. Janet Carlson's score is 2. Catherine Bingham says, clarifies Bern, Switzerland. Okay. Cat, get out of here. Go away. I love you, but go away. KS Alto, these are tough. Yeah, maybe Brazil. Becky Wright is here. She says, I think Carson, Alberta. Well, no, this is, with this one, it's outside of North America. So no Canada, no Mexico, no Central America. Also no Alaska or Hawaii. David Atchison says Switzerland. Janet Carlson repeats her score is 2. We know that you're dominating, Janet. Okay, just we know. David Atchison has +5 for his score. Wow, things are going wild. Okay, last guesses. I'll give it 5 more seconds. And then I'm going to throw down the sunflowers. Esther Nielsen Barker, England. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sunflowers down. Okay. Let's go back here. Slideshow. Okay, so the first one constructed outside of, North America, Central America, was the Bern, Switzerland temple. That was the Bern, Switzerland temple. So, it's interesting. So we have, first it starts with Utah, and then we go to Hawaii, and then Canada, which makes sense because, there were saints that were sent up to Canada to, have LDS colonies up there. And then pretty early on, relatively early, we have the Switzerland temple in Europe. So I think that's interesting. Greg the appliance guru, England. Janet Carlson, Bern. Okay. Great. All right, let's move on to the next question. Remember your score, and we'll check the scores after the next question. All right? Okay, the next question is, what are the 5 things President Nelson recommended for spiritual momentum? So with this one, let's see who can do it first. Who's the first one to guess all 5? This was from the last conference, and his talk was, I can't remember the exact name of his talk, but it was spiritual momentum. What are the 5 things that he recommends that we do in order to move forward with or increase our spiritual momentum? KSA Alto, number 1, repent daily. It says message retracted, but he did say that. It's on the record. Come on, you guys. Who was paying attention? David Atchison, -5. Yeah, -1 for each one of these. So it makes sense. Surely somebody must know. KSA Alto, that was pretty good. Does anyone... No looking. Do not look this up. If you are, you're cheating. It is cheating if you're looking this up on the internet. You must do it from memory. At this point, it's Greg the Appliance Guru. Make and keep covenants. Repent. Learn about God. Seek miracles and conflict. Yep, that's it. Greg the Appliance Guru got it. Oh, you cheated. Gosh dang it, Greg. Okay, that's fine. I'll go over here. I'll throw the sunflowers down, just for the record. Let me go over here to... I have it pulled up. Okay, the name of the talk is The Power of Spiritual Momentum. I will put that in the chat. And then I got to do the sunflower emoji over. Go like this. Do a bunch of sunflowers. Copy. Okay. And then let's go back here. Okay, so they are number 1, get on the covenant path. So that implies, like, if you haven't done it yet, you haven't got baptized, you haven't made other covenants, you know, you're not, you haven't entered into ordinances, do that if you haven't already done it for yourself. And then once you have, stay there. Number 2, discover the joy of daily repentance. Number 3, learn about God and how he works. Number 4, seek and expect miracles. Number 5, end conflict in your personal life. And I think that this is really important going forward. Obviously, anything the prophet says is important. And obviously, when he says it in conference, it's important for the next 6 months specifically. But not just the next 6 months, always. But I think we would do well to remember this. It's been mentioned before on the channel that, you know, these sound like the things that you would do to prepare to meet the Lord. Andrew Lamb, he's a seminary teacher, and he was saying how these things sound like a lesson that he was preparing about Moses, preparing the people of Israel to meet the Lord at Mount Sinai. I did a video about that, so you can go back a few videos and watch that if you'd like. Let's go back to the chat. KSA Alto, I didn't. I pray for you every night. Me? Oh, you're talking about me? Thank you. Bob D had it. Stay on covenant path, joy of repentance, learn about God and how he works, seek and expect miracles and conflict. Alessandra claps. She claps for Greg, the cheater. KSA Alto, I pray for it every night. Oh, you don't pray for me every night? Angela McKee, way to go, Greg. 2 thumbs up for a cheater. I'm just teasing. I'm just kidding with you. Okay, let's move on to no. Let's do a count. Let's do no. Let's wait till the next question for a count of how many points you have. Okay, the next question is: in what year was the northern kingdom of Israel conquered by Assyria? And really, the only question that we're really asking here is which century? 921 BC, 821, 721, or 621 BC? What year was the northern kingdom conquered by Assyria? Oh, KSA Alto confirms that he will pray for me too, with a big smile. -4 points to David Atchison for spelling. That makes me want to swear, but notice that he is not. Okay, Becky Wright says D, 621 BC. Sherry Ware says C, 721 BC. Greg the Appliance Guru, D for 621. Angela McKee, D, 621. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? We're talking about the 10th, 9th, 8th, and 7th centuries BC. 921 BC, 821 BC, 721 BC, and 621 BC. No BCE. This is an LDS channel. We're gonna do BC. If you don't know what he's referring to, the more secular way of saying it is before Common Era or Common Era, so like BCE or CE, because obviously BC means before Christ, and then AD means, I can't remember exactly how it's pronounced, but it's like Anno Domini, which is like Latin for year of our Lord. So, we would be in 2022 AD, year of our Lord, AD, Anno Domini, something like that. KSA Alto says A, 921 BC. Catherine Bingham says 882. Well, that's not on here, but I will accept that as an answer. No, then she says C, 721 BC. David Atchison, it's even funnier when they are the same thing. Yeah, it's a silly thing, but whatever. But on this channel, we're doing BC and AD. My choice, my channel. Okay, just 5 more seconds for guesses. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sunflowers. Okay, go back here. So the answer was 721 BC. Now, so 721 BC, David Atchison. Now, it actually, I noticed as I was looking at this that there's different, I don't think that we have an exact date when it happened, but it was around the 700s BC. If you go to different sources, they have slightly different years, but I got this from the church website in one of their articles. It was in one of the student manuals under enrichment H or something like that, and that's what they put down. But the important thing is that it was in, about 700 BC. So about 100 years, roughly, very roughly, about 100 years before the southern kingdom was conquered by Babylon in 600 BC. So you think back to the Book of Mormon, they talk about, leaving. They knew when it was going to happen and all that stuff to the southern kingdom. Tiana Hall says C. And then, okay, so yeah, let's get everybody's scores. Be honest. Sherry Ware says 3 right so far. What is everybody else's score, if you don't mind sharing? Tiana Hall, let's see, guessed it correctly. All right, anybody else? KSA Alto got 1. Becky Wright, 0. Becky Wright did join a little bit later, I noticed, though. Greg the Appliance Guru, 0, started late. And cheated. Sherry Johnson, 1. Okay. Go ahead and put in your score if you like. You don't have to, but just for fun. Let's move on to the next question. Where is Elder Bednar from? Where is Elder Bednar from? David Atchison, 4 minus 1, about 1. Tiana Hall, 1. Okay. Where is Elder Bednar from? Correct. But I want the state. And a bonus point if you get the city. KSA Alto says California. Sherry Ware says New Jersey. Greg the Appliance Guru says Arkansas. I feel like he said it like a couple times in his talks. Or at least I remember specifically hearing it once. I don't know how much it's come up. But I do know it's come up at least one time, I think, in conference. Sherry Johnson says California. All right, any other guesses where Elder Bednar is from? Not Texas, says David Atchison. Anywhere else? And of course, just to clarify the question, we're talking about where he's originally from, not where he's from right now. If you'll remember, he actually, Becky Wright says California. If you remember right, he actually didn't come from an active family. I remember in a conference talk, it may have been the same conference talk, he said that his parents, or at least his dad, or I don't know, but like he didn't come from like an active family. So that's really good that he had the strength to, come to church. Modified question, extra point for both. Okay. All right, any other guesses? Where's Elder Bednar from? Elder David A. Bednar. And any guesses on the city? That one's pretty much impossible. I would not be able to guess that myself, but okay. I'll give it 5 more seconds, and then we'll throw down the sunflowers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sunflowers. Okay, the answer is Oakland, California. Oakland, California. So there were a bunch of people that guessed that right. Not San Francisco, but you did get California right, Becky, right? So, yeah, we had a few people guess California. All right. Let's go ahead and let's move on to the next question. The next question is, of the current quorum of the 12, which, okay, of the current quorum of the 12 apostles, which 3 served missions in the United Kingdom? Now, if you've been watching the channel, this has come up. Some of these things have come up, some of them haven't, but this is one of the things that has come up on the channel. Do you remember, if you watched the video, which 3 apostles, and this does not include the first presidency, so the quorum of the 12, which 3 have served missions in the United Kingdom? David Atchison, Tweedo Pinions. Tweedo Pinions. I don't know what you're saying, man. Okay, so guess some apostles. KSA Alto, Cook, Holland, Ballard? Question mark. Okay. Anyone else? 1 point per apostle. Catherine Bingham, I think she meant to say Ballard. Sherry Johnson, Bednar, Holland, Ballard. All right. Sherry Ware, Holland, Cook, Ballard. Remember, no cheating. Greg the Appliance Guru, Cook, Holland, Ballard. I can't tell if everyone's just copying each other or David Atchison auto spell check. Two were companions. Oh, okay. Oh, is that right? I can't remember if that's really cool. That's a cool fact. All right, any other guesses? Any other guesses? We'll give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sunflowers. Okay, the answer is Elder Cook, Elder Holland, and President Ballard. President Ballard because he's currently the acting president of the Quorum of the 12. So give yourself points for whoever you got. 1 point per apostle. Sherry Johnson says, I agree, Cook, but wasn't first guess. Okay. Very good. Then we'll do another question and then check everybody's score after that. The next question is, what is the Hebrew word for priest? And you can either do the singular or the plural. It doesn't matter. I have the answer for both of those. What is the Hebrew word for priest? And they usually use this word instead of priest when they're speaking English. So this is a pairing of words that come up somewhat frequently on the channel. So that's why I thought I'd put it in here. Hopefully someone picked up on it. David Atchison says Nahum. Sherry Ware says Rabbi. KSA Alto says Rabbi. Tiana Hall says, I'm not very good at this game. That's okay. These are all just like a bunch of random questions. I'd like to know how well I would have done if I hadn't put it together, because I'm not so sure. Greg the Appliance Guru says question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, it comes up. It comes up somewhat frequently. David Atchison says Rabbini. Now, just as a hint, possibly it may jog your memory. I don't know. So we have, of course, the high. So in English, we have the high priest, and then we have the priests. If I remember right, the high priest, that's the lineage of Aaron, like the oldest son on down, like oldest son, oldest son, oldest son. But then the priests, just like the regular, the priests are from Aaron's lineage, but not the eldest son. And then you have the rest of the tribe of Levi that are not descendants of Aaron, that are the Levites. And they had like the lesser, more menial tasks in running the temple. But the priests were the ones that were actually doing like the sacrifices and going in the holy place and doing the stuff in there. And then the high priest is the one that would go into the Holy of Holies once a year on Yom Kippur or the Day of Atonement. David Atchison says Levite. Becky Wright says probably rabbi. All right. Any other guesses? All right. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sunflowers. All right, the answer is the Cohen. That's a singular form for priest, or Kohanim, which is plural. So this is them under their talits, or like these shawls, and they're giving blessings. This is how they do it. They do it wearing those. I did a video recently. It was actually part of a stream where we were looking at a YouTube video of them doing that at the Western Wailing Wall. Because I guess what happens is during Passover, they do that on a particular day. And today they actually did it again. So it was like split up between 2 days. It was on Monday of this week and then today. So they were doing this exact thing. The reason why they have that over their head is because when they're doing the blessing, you're not supposed to look at them directly. You're supposed to, turn the other way. But yeah, that's them giving a blessing. So if you think anything in the temple is weird, or if anyone thinks that anything in the temple is weird, well, they do interesting things in Judaism. But it's really pretty neat. I actually kind of like it. So if you ever get a chance, go watch, like a Sabbath day service on a Saturday. Watch a synagogue, and sometimes they'll have the Kohanim. If there's any Kohanim there, get up and do this blessing. David Atchison says cocoa beam. That's, of course, referring to the pearl of great price under facsimile 2. I'm not sure. Esther Nilsson Barker Cohen. So yeah, that's what they're called. The priests, now the high priest is called the Cohen Gadol. That's high priest. But then just the regular priests are Cohen. And so if you meet anybody that has the last name like Cowan, or Cohen, or anything that sounds like this, that may be because they descend through that priestly lineage. And the Temple Institute, the ones that are preparing for the Third Temple, they actually have a registry because they're trying to keep track of everybody that could act as a priest in the temple whenever that time comes, if it comes. Let me take this darn cat out of here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Cats. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next question. When did Israel become a nation? When did Israel become a nation? 1 point if you get the year. And let's do a total of 3 points if you get the entire date. Because that's kind of hard. Greg, the appliance guru. I had a coworker, last name Cohen, mentioned was Jewish. He's probably one of the Kohanim. I'm being completely serious. I think another one was like, if it's like Cochran or something like that, Cochran. So if you ever hear that from somebody, there's a good chance that they're Jewish. Greg, the appliance guru, says July 7th, 1957. Again, it's okay just to guess the year if you want to. Tiana Hall says 1976, a guess. David Atchison says, like, post-World War II, 1948. Sherry Ware says 1948. Sherry Johnson says 1947. Interesting fact, I think it was 1947 that the Air Force was created. Becky Wright says 1947. Yeah, before that, it was called the Army Air Corps. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people here already know that. KSA Alto says 1967. When did Israel become a nation? David Atchison 5/14/48 to be exact. Michelle Kendall says 1947. Oh, Michelle must have just joined us. I don't remember seeing her in the chat. Welcome. All right, any other guesses? Sorry, it's hard for me to remember who all is guessing. It seems like everyone's put in their guess that's been participating so far. But any other guesses as to when Israel became a nation? And no cheating, no looking it up on your device. Okay, I think we're going to call it with that. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sunflowers. Okay, so the answer is May 14th, 1948. May 14th, 1948. David Atchison, did you really know that, or did you look it up? Catherine Bingham, before the sunflower, says the year 195. No, that is way too... I'm just kidding. I know that you probably meant to put like 1945 or something. And this, I guess, this is like the original flag. The Star of David was all colored in blue, but it's pretty similar to what we have now. Roger Chambers says June 6th, 1948. Well, you got 1948 correct. David Atchison says, I knew it. Had to use it last week. Oh, okay, cool. I think, David, are you the one that... I swear I saw... I don't know if it was an email or a comment from somebody, but was it you that said you have a channel? If you have a channel, put it in the chat. Esther Nilsson Barker, 1949. Yeah, so May 14th, 1948. That's when it's on the let me see. It's on a government website here. Creation of Israel on May 14th, 1948. David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, proclaimed the establishment of the state of Israel. U.S. President Harry S. Truman recognized the new nation on the same day. Not that anyone really cares, but I'll put this link in the chat. David Atchison's channel is Gospel Cultural Hall. Gospel Cultural Hall. So, in fact, let me pull that up. I'll put that link in the chat. Gospel Cultural Hall. Here is the link. If you guys want to check him out, it's in the chat. Close out of this. Let's see. All right, let's get back to the game. There's just a few left. I can't remember, but I think we're toward the end. Okay, what does Jerusalem Day celebrate? What are the circumstances, or what does Jerusalem Day celebrate? KSA Alto, this channel was about when I was in Japan. It was an assistant language teacher. Nothing about the gospel. Haven't done any videos in years. Okay, so we got you have a channel. Is that what it is? Okay. So does anyone know, what does Jerusalem Day celebrate? David Atchison, yep, thanks. I don't really create, just reshare good content. Thanks though. Well, that's good too. Just anything like that, any sort of effort is good, because it helps people. So hopefully you'll be able to continue with the channel and just help others out that are trying to learn more about the gospel and all that. Sherry Ware says Jerusalem became the capital. Reg the Appliance Guru says the day Israel won Old City Jerusalem. Becky Wright says freedom. Okay. And if you guys have a date, so let's do two things. Let's do the date. It doesn't matter if you have like the whole date or just the year. That'll be 1 point. And then the meaning of Jerusalem Day, that'll be a separate point. So 2 possible points for this question. Anyone else know what Jerusalem Day is about? And let's just do what year. What year is associated with this day? Sherry Ware says 2017. David Atchison, I have no idea, but it sounds like a primary activity. Jerusalem Day. Tiana Hall, I don't know. Just throw a date out there. Just pick a date. Just give it a go. Greg the Appliance Guru, 1949. So he's saying a year after Israel became an independent nation. That's his guess. Any other guesses? I know this one's a little bit tougher. This one's kind of important, though, because I think it was today we were talking about this. In fact, I think it was the last couple streams we've been talking about this, that the way that they celebrate this, it's kind of, they've moved it up till now, how they would normally celebrate this day. So it would be later in the year, but they're doing it now, and it's actually added to tensions today in Israel. Tiana Hall guesses 1953. David Atchison, 1998. Sherry Johnson says 1952. All right. Anyone else have any guesses about what happened or what it's commemorating? Last year, when they were celebrating this, you had a very large amount of Jews down at the Western Wailing Wall, and up above on the Temple Mount, there was kind of like a counter protest, or like a protest against it by the Palestinians, and they accidentally caught a tree on fire because they have like fireworks that they use. They use like rocks and fireworks. And a tree caught on fire, and it caused like a pretty spectacular scene because it was at nighttime, and so you had just tons of Jews down celebrating Jerusalem Day at the Western Wailing Wall, and then up above them, you had this crazy looking fire. No one at the time really knew what was going on, except for maybe the Palestinians, because they were up close and they knew what was going on. Becky Wright says, I think it has something to do with a war. Okay. 5 more seconds, and then I'll throw down the sunflowers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And oh, oops, that's not a sunflower. Let me get my sunflowers back. I love sunflowers, by the way. Be a Man 58 says 1967, after 6-Day War, getting old Jerusalem. You got it in time. You got it before the sunflowers, and that is correct. It's what they view as the reunification of Jerusalem after the 6-Day War. So basically, because what Israel really wants is the old city, or the eastern half of the city, because that's where the Temple Mount is. And the Palestinians don't have any problem with dividing the city and letting Israel have the western side, but that's the side where nothing really is of significance to the Jews. They believe that the third temple absolutely must be built on the Temple Mount, and so that's why they want it. And so that's what causes pretty much all the conflict and the chaos in Israel and in Jerusalem. So Be a Man 58 gets a point. Well, he gets 2 points because he got the date and why that day is significant. So it's a big day for the Jews, and you can see why it would be a problem or something that Arabs wouldn't be happy about. And when the Jews are celebrating the annexation of the old city, Well, that makes them mad. And so that's why they were on the Temple Mount that night, doing rocks and fireworks and, being upset about it. So that was on Jerusalem Day last year. Now, Jerusalem Day is celebrated, I think, in May. But like I said, how they would normally celebrate it in May, they're doing it, or they did it today, which caused a stir, and it added to tensions in Israel. David Atchison says, and why they put graves in front of the gate by the temple. Yeah, that's why they do that, because in Judaism, if you come in contact with the dead, or a corpse, then you become impure, right? You have to be purified, or I think a certain amount of time has to go by before you're considered pure again. And so the idea, and there's debate about this, but from a Jewish point of view, the story goes that the Muslims basically had all these graves. In fact, let me pull up Google Earth, because that'll be easier. Then I can just show you Google Earth. I'll switch windows in just a second here. Okay, let's go to window capture. Let's go to Google Earth. Okay, now we're switched over. So you come over here, zoom in. There's the BYU Jerusalem Center. The Temple Mount right here, right? And so let me do it like this. You have the Mount of Olives over here, right? And as Christians, we know that that's where Christ is going to come for the second coming. He's going to set foot on the Mount of Olives. And there is a Jewish tradition that their Messiah will enter in through this way, okay, onto the Temple Mount, through the Golden Gate. And we've done videos about the Golden Gate because the shape of it's two arches, and the church symbol fits perfectly within those arches. But you'll just have to go watch those videos. Anyway, in fact, let me just put. I'm going to put that into the chat. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to look it up in case you want to watch it. I'll put it in the chat. Bear with me for just 1 second. It's called the Golden Gate. It's also called the Shushan Gate. Let's see, Golden Gate. Here is the video. I'm putting this in the chat. So if you want to go in there and click on watch later or something like that. Okay. So it's in the chat, but let's come back here to Google Earth. So you can kind of make it out from the satellite imagery. You see all these like how it looks all pixelated or stuff right here. These are all graves. These are all graves right here. And the Golden Gate is actually sealed up. Let me see if I can get a 360 view of it. Yeah, here you go. So right here, see this right here, this is the Golden Gate. Let me go back to OBS. So Jews believe that Messiah would enter in through here, and they also believe that the Arabs sealed this up in centuries past, not recently, in order to prevent that from happening, and then also have all these grave sites in the way to prevent that. So that's from the Jewish point of view. I think that there's a different point of view from the Muslims. They wouldn't agree with that, but it's just like a big, huge, essentially a cemetery, a grave site, right? And then the BYU Jerusalem Center, you can't really tell. It's kind of pixely, but that's the BYU Jerusalem Center right there where my mouse is. So yeah. Now, the church symbol, it fits into this. If you take the top part of the church symbol, if you leave out the cornerstone or where it says the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the top part fits perfectly into this. It also fits perfectly within, if like you overlaid it on the two front doors of the Salt Lake Temple, and I have a video about that too. So anyway, let's come back out here, zoom out. Yeah, anyway, I guess that's all we need to do there. Bear with me. Let me get back to this. Oh, that's actually the last question. That's the last question. Okay, so that's going to be it for this one. That was the trivia. So let me know. Well, first, let me know what's everybody's final score. If you kept track, what was your final score? Put it in the chat, if you don't mind. I think I'll do one more thing before we finish. I'm going to go back to Chrome, Google Chrome. Okay. So if you wanted to see where I got this information from, I'm going to put all these in the description below as well as in the chat. This is a Wikipedia article that has a list of all the temples of the church, the basic stats, and it's in chronological order. So let me put that here. Okay. Let's see. Becky Wright got 4. Greg the Appliance Guru got 4. KSA Alto, thanks so much, 5 points. David Atchison, the amazing that 3 world religions, JS, take a claim to the temple area. Yeah, it is amazing. And it reminds me, I've brought this up on the channel before as well, but we have the same situation with the temple lot in Independence, Missouri. It's a very similar situation. If we go back there, if we go back to Google Earth, we have a small little church, not very big at all. I think it's like only like 20,000 members or something like that. It's called the Church of Christ Temple Lot. And they're the ones that own the original site where the first temple would have been built. The first temple that's part of the 24 temple complex right here. It's this awkward looking piece of land right here, and this is their meeting house. Across the street you have the Community of Christ, formerly known as the RLDS, or Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They have their Spire Temple right there, and they actually consider this temple to be their fulfillment of Joseph Smith's vision or prophecy about a millennial temple. But as far as I can tell, I've been trying to research this. It seems like the church still does regard this as a place that the temple needs to be built on this temple lot. It's been noted that as recently as 2018, the church has offered to buy this. And also in years past, they basically offered them a blank check of however much they want for the temple lot property. But we've read articles from one of their apostles saying that's never gonna happen. So anything could happen over the years, but as of right now, it doesn't look very likely. So we have, a similar situation, just like in Jerusalem. We have a place where we would like to build a temple, but there's another religion there that's preventing us from doing that. And you have to kind of wonder if maybe the Lord allowed this to happen, just as part of his timing. You know what I mean? But I've done another video talking about this is our visitor center right here, the Independence LDS Visitor Center, and it was built to the specifications of what the temple should have been, as far as like the area of the the dimensions, right? And I also showed, because I used Photoshop to show that if you took out the stake center, which is right here, and you took out this parking lot, you could fit 24 of temples this size of the LDS Independence Visitor Center. You could fit 24 temples in this area that the church already owns. So if the Lord gives a revelation, like, do it, that it could be done. It could be done. I'm not saying that's how it's going to happen, but that's just interesting to think about. Okay, let me go back. Let's see. I'm going to switch back. Okay, so I can't remember if I already put this in the chat, but here you go. If you would like to visit that. Okay, I'm going to close out of that. Here is President Nelson's talk, The Power of Spiritual Momentum, in case you want to review that, and I would recommend that you do. I think that it's important that we keep those 5 things in mind that he told us that we should do to have spiritual momentum. Here's where I got the 721 BC date from. This is in the Old Testament student manual. So there's that, in case you want to read that enrichment section. Here's where I got David A. Bednar's, where he's from. He is from California, from Oakland, California. Here is a church news article talking about this thing that happened last year, where you had the 3 apostles that served missions in the UK go back, and then there was a special conference. And I've taken notes. I've taken notes on that. If you want to go and search that later. Oh, the link is too big. Sorry, I won't be able to share that one. If you want to research more about the Cohen or the Kohanim, there's that link. The creation of Israel. This is from a U.S. government website. Jerusalem Day, in case you're interested in that. Called Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. So I guess that's how they say that. Sorry, I know it's kind of, it's a lot of stuff to put in the chat, but I really like to give references for everything that I do. I try and base everything that I say, have it anchored in reality. Here's the Seal of Melchizedek article that we were talking about earlier on in the chat. The San Diego Temple has this symbol. This was just pointed out earlier in the chat. It's like an 8-pointed star, and the scholarship has essentially identified it with this, the symbol or the seal of Melchizedek. So if you want to find out more about that, there's that link. I'll skip this one. The Woman at the Veil, the history and symbolic merit of one of the Salt Lake Temple's most unique symbols, which I'm going to have to see, but I do think that I saw in the rendering that it's not going to be there anymore. Let's see. It was just like right up here where you would enter in to the Celestial Room after doing an endowment session. She's just right up there. So if you want to read up on that, there you go. And I think that's pretty much it for that. Let's go back to Google Earth, just so we're looking at something as we're talking. Okay, let me see. Sherry Johnson, 4. Thanks, that was fun and interesting. Sherry Ware, 4 right, 6 points. That was fun, interesting, and educational. Thanks. David Atchison, when has the Lord taken the quick and easy way, though? I think all that has been spoken shall come to pass. That's true. It could, but we'll just have to see. I'm not saying that it's necessarily quick and easy, but I think things that can change. But we'll see. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Let me know in the chat if you thought this was pretty fun, because I might do more trivia nights. Put a yes or a Y if you had fun tonight, if you think that we should do this again. And don't worry, my feelings will not be hurt, but I thought it was kind of fun. Also, if you joined a little bit later, earlier we were putting what our favorite temples are. Put that in the chat if you don't mind. What is your favorite temple? KSA Alto says yes. David Atchison, yes. Let's do them more regularly. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll try and do it like once a week or something like that. Sherry Ware, yes. Karate videos and more, yes. Okay. Favorite temples, anybody? How many people do we have watching right now? We're at 17, so it's gone down. Sherry Ware's favorite temple is the Manti Temple. Yeah, I've been through there one time. It was a good experience, and that's where my great-grandma was sealed. Tiana Hall, yes. The Tempe. The Tempe? Or the temple? Or what sorry, you'll have to clarify that. All right, anybody else? Okay. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So thank you for joining me. I had a good time. I hope you did too. And I will talk to you